got another one.
Please be hurt.
And this is the area where he did the majority of his damages on day 1 and 2. That's a good fish right there.
Oh my God. Stay hooked, fish. Please stay hooked, fish. This is the tournament right here. Come on. Come on, girl. Just get your big bite over here. No. Got her! Let's go! Dude, that's game. I don't care what they catch, that's game.
All right, folks, we are wrapping up stop number 5 of the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals. 2022 Rookie of the Year, Nick Hatfield, got it done on the Potomac. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. It was crazy, but we got it done.
Yeah, you've had some good tournaments here in the past, and you caught over 20 pounds yesterday. Kind of blew it out. Yeah. Like, it turned into a rout.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to go out. I've been close before,
yep.
And I told myself, like, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna try something, try to do something to try to win. I knew somebody out of the top 6 or 10 was gonna catch a big bag, and I knew if I could do it, I'd have a really good shot being in second. So, you know, just switched it up, and man, we made it happen.
All right, want to go back out in the river, show me how it's done?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go. Nick, we're here. This is where it went down yesterday,
yeah.
Especially in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're back here in Chickamuxon Creek. You know, this area is off limits from March 1st through June 15th.
Yep.
And checked with the tournament director. He said I was good to go. Never been back here before. Just came in here, wanted to try something different, and you know, we run across a little section of bluegill beds here on this point, and they were just loaded on it. So, you know, we picked up a popper, and I'm sure we'd catch some on frog too. You see, we've already got some blowing up over here. But, you know, just pulled in here, and it was pretty magical.
Yeah, no doubt.
These fish, it was like, you know, you fish out here in this grass. It was pretty random unless you found, you know, a section that had a bunch of fish in it.
Like, you could catch fish in the grass, but
yeah,
not very targeted.
You find these bluegill beds, and then, you know, it was like they would be anywhere from, you know, 4 or 5 bites to be had on it to maybe a dozen or better bites to be had on it. So I fished my way around, but I really tried to stay close to the bluegill beds, continue to hit them, because they would reload, you know, every day throughout the day.
You didn't know this spot had bluegill beds, like, when you pulled in here?
No, and, you know, I caught them, and I thought it was just a row of milfoil, and the sun started to get a little bit higher, and before I left, I kind of, you know, just worked my way around it, and that's when I noticed them, you know, noticed the beds and all the bluegill. And
man, were there a lot of bass here yesterday. I think there was one point here yesterday where you caught like 2 or 3, like, almost back to back.
Yeah, it was a blast. I'm gonna pull down right here.
We'll just kind of milk it a little?
Yeah, we'll make a few casts around here. The big one?
This is the best one.
Oh, baby.
That's a good one too.
That is a good one. Yes. Now you could weigh that one in.
Yeah, you could.
That's the right size.
Definitely weigh that one in. Look at it.
There's still fish here. All over that frog.
Yeah.
I guess I better cast.
Man, that's so fun. Like,
dude, that is awesome. I'm gonna have
to get the pliers to get that guy.
That's not a bad problem to have.
That's a solid 3.5 pounder, you know, it's a good fish.
No doubt, no doubt. So a wacky rig did a lot of your damage this week, but really the final day, you picked up a popper, you picked up a frog a little. Why'd you do that? Because obviously it's working this morning.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, tide had a lot to do with the bait. And of course, early in the morning too, like I felt like the top water got a lot of bites.
Yep.
You know, so like if the tide was low, you know, and the grass kind of was, you know, sticking up towards the top, you know, and it was, you know, you can't really get a popper through it. You know, it's fouling up on little pieces of grass or the top of the grass. So that's when I would throw a frog a lot. But, you know, if the tide was high like it is right now, you know, I know there's a lot of floating grass, but
you could get that popper in and around.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I would just pull into an area and I would work it over real good with the top water. And after a few casts with it, you know, if I didn't get a bite or maybe I did catch a couple on it or something, I would immediately just pick up the wacky rig and start fan casting it around and really just soaking it. And seem like the ones that didn't want to come up on your top water, you know, you would catch them on the worm.
When you would throw your wacky in on these spots, how would you fish it? And like, how clean is the bottom up there?
Yeah, so, you know, probably about 10 or 15 foot off the bank. It's nothing but just kind of hard shell and rock and bluegill beds. And then the grass would start. And a lot of times I would make a cast up there like that.
Yep.
And I would give it a second. You know, it's a weightless Senko, so I would give it a second and I would pick up. And there would be one on there, just like that. Oh, he came off.
God.
He came off. But it was,
I was about to be like just Bill Dance level television.
Basically, just like that most of the time. But yeah, so I was just using, this is a Doomsday J-Dam 7-foot medium light. I think that one may be a medium. I used this one mainly, the medium light. And this is a, you know, just a good all-around rod. It's got a really nice tip to it, loads up well. You know, some people say they don't like the handle as much because it's a little long, but I like it. You know, you can really stick it in your side, you can winch them in. But as far as line, you know, I'm using a 12-pound Sunline braid to a 10-pound Sunline shooter leader.
Okay.
And Hayabusa hook, this is a 1/0 trailer hook, and it works really good for a wacky rig, Nico rig. And I like these little VMC O-ring deals.
Yeah,
you know, using a regular O-ring, I go through way more worms and stuff, and the hook's kind of sideways in there. And you know, sometimes I feel like it kind of messes you up with the hook set and everything, but pretty simple. I mean, no weight at all, just completely weightless, and just throwing it up there and soaking it pretty good. And every once in a while you'd get a bite on it. It was amazing how many times you would throw up there and think, well, maybe there's nothing up there, and then all of a sudden
you'd swim off.
Yeah, there's a bite and swim off with it. I mean, pretty incredible.
Yeah, you would really soak on these spots too. Like, you'd come in and put the power poles down and not move.
Yeah, and that was a huge player for me this week too, was having power poles. You know, I could sneak up here on a spot, I could pole down, and I wasn't making any noise. You know, I wasn't using a trolling motor. I mean, I was just sitting.
There we go.
I thought he had it. I was just sitting here, not making any noise, and I could just sit here and cast all across these brim beds. And you know, I think that was huge too, because, you know, like we were saying, you know, you would soak it, you would sit here for 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes, and 30 minutes in, I would catch a 4-pounder.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as the tide moves in and out, these fish just use this as something to stop on, or they might just use it to come up here and feed. So, you know, I'd be sitting here not making any noise, and a 4-pounder or even a 3-pounder would slide up, and then, you know, my worm sitting up there, and I'd catch it. So,
ready to go. So we're back in here throwing around. You caught like a high 3 or something like that in the back of this little creek here. Yesterday morning, you had a 5-pounder in the boat by like 9 o'clock. When did you know it was coming together, that this could be the day?
Yeah, probably, you know, like when I caught that 5-pounder. I mean, you know, I'd never been back here, like I said earlier, and just kind of coming around through here, practicing, you know, just looking for stuff that looks good, trying to catch some bass. And I ended up catching a couple threes, and then we got out there to the set of bluegill beds
Yep.
that we've already fished, and I catch, you know, I know they bite a popper good here, and I pick it up. I haven't caught much on it all week since practice, but I sling it over next to the bank, not knowing that those were bluegill beds at the time.
Yeah.
And I catch like another 3-pounder. I've got like 13 or 14 pounds. And I just continued to throw it, and I caught like 5 or 6 in a row, and one was a 5-pounder. And I had just said, you know, to the camera guy, like, you know, if I'm gonna win today, I gotta have a big one.
Yeah.
And, you know, catch the biggest one I've caught all week on it. And it was pretty special. I had 17 pounds on the scale, and, you know, you get a chance to win a tournament like this, you know, especially on the last day, you go out and you catch 17 plus or whatever, especially here, a place like this where 20 pounds is a big
Huge
bag.
bag,
I
yeah.
mean, dude, I had an idea that, like, you know, I was close. I had a good foundation to get it done, but, you know, I wasn't done either. You know, I stuck with it, and I just kept after it, and ended up catching another really big one too, you know, across in Quantico.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think once I had the 17 pounds, I was like, okay, you know, this is like a reality, like this can happen.
Yeah,
just stay after
possible.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing day, because I mean, you were culling all the way till like, I don't know, 1:30 or something. I remember
Yeah.
I was driving out to get sandwiches, and Marty was like talking on live, being like, he should weigh that fish and then drive to the dock.
Yeah, I saw it. I watched it last night. Like, what a day, you know. It's like I said before, again, you know, it's you get a chance to win these, and you come out here on the last day and you catch a bag of fish like that. It's what you dream of. It's like, you know, I've wanted to do this for so long, and, you know, you've encouraged me along the way, as well as a lot of other people.
There's a lot of people that believe in you.
Yeah, and you know, it's awesome to get it done, man. It's truly unbelievable, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Dude, it was a pleasure to watch, and really, I won't say it was a long time coming, because you've only been doing this for a little while.
Yeah.
But it felt really good. So,
Yeah,
dude,
for
congratulations.
Sure. Thanks, Jody. I appreciate it.